Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
Let us say a special thank you to the Capitol Police Ceremonial Unit and the Metropolitan Police Honor Guard for the presentation and retiring of the colors. We gather here exactly 23 months ago. Our nation suffered the most staggering assault on democracy since the Civil War. January 6th was a day of horror and heartbreak, yet is also a moment of extraordinary heroism. Staring down deadly violence and despicable bigotry, our law enforcement officers bravely stood in the breach, ensuring that democracy survived on that dark day. So on behalf of the United States Congress and the American people, it is my honor to present the Congressional Gold Medal to the United States Capitol Police, the Metropolitan Police, and every hero of January 6th, from every agent that responded that day. May this medal, the highest honor that Congress can bestow, serve as a token of our nation's deepest gratitude and respect. Not as full, but as a token. And in accepting this medal, you bring luster to this award, just as you bring luster to the Congress and the Constitution of the United States. Will our leaders please join in this presentation? So we go down here.
Just to dip in a little bit, we are watching a ceremony to honor the members of law enforcement, the Capitol Police and the D.C. Police, who were in the Capitol the day of the riot, many of them risking their lives, many of them still dealing with the emotional and at times physical fallout of literally fighting the massive crowd that had poured into the rotunda that you see right there. This is exactly where many of these officers found themselves trying to beat back an angry crowd. They are receiving the highest honor that Congress bestows upon citizens. And I'm just going to sort of be quiet and let's listen in.
Good morning, Madam Speaker, Leader Schumer, Leader McConnell, Leader McCarthy, Chief Conte, distinguished guests, and all of my Capitol Police officers and civilian employees, and all of my law enforcement colleagues, many of whom were here on January 6th. We welcome you here again today. I'm honored to accept this Congressional Gold Medal on behalf of the men and women of the United States Capitol Police, who bravely sacrificed their own safety in order to protect the Capitol building, the members of Congress, and our country's legislative processes on January 6, 2021. I also want to thank our law enforcement partners, especially the Metropolitan Police Department, who came to our aid that day. Words cannot adequately express our gratitude for what you did to help our officers by joining in the fight that was taking place. It was a day like It was a day unlike any other in our nation's history, and for us, it was a day defined by chaos, courage, tragic loss, and resolve. And I especially want to recognize our officers who made the ultimate sacrifice. Officer Brian Sicknick, Officer Howard Liebengood, and I want to recognize also Officer Billy Evans, who was lost in the line of duty on April 2nd, 2021. When he was attacked outside the Capitol by a lone assailant. I cannot thank our officers enough for their courage, for their resolve in order to help us protect the Capitol and the Congress from such a horrific attack. And on the very next day, these officers went back to work and continued to carry out our mission. I know that Congress appreciates that you all continue to do your job with dedication each and every day. Today's ceremony means a great deal to the entire United States Capitol Police Department. I appreciate the fact that Congress is acknowledging the courage, the strength, and resiliency of each and every member of the United States Capitol Police, sworn and civilian. We are equally as grateful for the recognition to our law enforcement partners who fought shoulder to shoulder with us until peace was restored in our Capitol. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Robert J. Conti III of the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department.
Good morning, Madam Speaker, attending members of the United States Congress, Mayor Bowser, and to my many law enforcement colleagues, both those in attendance and those who are unable to join us in person. My name is Robert J. Conti III, Chief of Police for the Metropolitan Police Department. And on behalf of the men and women, both past and present, of MPD, it is a tremendous honor to accept the United States Congressional Gold Medal. This medal is symbolic of our members' contributions, not just to the District of Columbia, but to the entire country on January 6, 2021. Today, marks a significant moment in the history of the Metropolitan Police Department. Our profession is rooted in a culture of guardianship, and there has been no better representation of this than what the world witnessed from our police officers on January the 6th. I thank all that voted in favor of this recognition, but I must also thank our law enforcement community for their extraordinary response. To our heroes, for many of the officers with us, today's ceremony is the first time they have returned to the Capitol complex. Many of us still carry the physical, mental, and emotional scars after that mob of thousands launched a violent assault in an attempt to halt the counting of electoral ballots. The sound of metal poles and other objects striking the bodies, helmets, and shields may still ring loudly. The air, still thick with bear spray and other chemicals, making it difficult for our officers to see and breathe. The calls for your fellow officer to be harmed just as loud as the day that this occurred. But there is hope because through adversity comes growth, and we continue to grow together and deliver excellence to our community. Perspective, the kind that really matters, comes through risk and courage, and you delivered. The urgent request for the Metropolitan Police Department to assist in defending the U.S. Capitol is something that you will carry with you for the rest of your careers and lives. Regardless of your political affiliation, you responded like you do each and every day, without hesitation, with courage, and an unwavering duty to uphold your oath. You were confronted by individuals engaged in heinous behavior with the intent of causing you harm and destroying our democratic process. You did not give up, and you did not give in. And yes, you were vastly outnumbered, but you were determined. Exhausted and injured, it was your blood, your sweat, and your tears that marked these grounds where we stand today. And you endured this without reluctance. This commitment to our nation is a reflection of your spirit and serves as an enduring reminder that adversity is also an opportunity. And one of the greatest strengths is our ability to overcome insurmountable obstacles. That day, you showed the world just a glimpse of who we are. I am immensely proud of the work you did that day to return the legislative body to the chambers and restore order to our democratic process. Your actions were powerful, and MPD's legacy strengthened. An unprecedented crisis that called for unprecedented action, and the Congressional Gold Medal is a product of your efforts as guardians of our democracy. So on behalf of the 4,000 members of the Metropolitan Police Department, I am humbled and privileged to accept this highest honor bestowed upon us by members of Congress. God bless everyone, and to our police officers, you're an inspiration to all Americans. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Army Band, Pershing Zone, Army Chorus.
From sea to shining sea, America, America, oh beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed all grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood. From sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years. Pine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. from sea to shining sea, from sea to shining sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Kevin McCarthy, Republican Leader of the United States House of Representatives.
I appreciate the House and Senate for agreeing to use the rotunda to honor the Capitol Police and D.C. Police. Today we pay tribute to their service and sacrifice on January 6th. These brave men and women in uniform stood strong in the line of duty for our country, and we're forever grateful for that. This Congressional Gold Medal commemorates their courage, professionalism, and patriotism. There's no more fitting place to show our gratitude than the rotunda of the Capitol, a room that is a symbol of a sacred building, a symbol of a great nation, a symbol of freedom and self-government here and around the world. The Capitol Police and D.C. Police are valued members of this community, but they're also members of another community, the community of law enforcement, the brotherhood of law enforcement. By awarding them the Congressional Gold Medal, we're not only honoring them for protecting our nation and community on January 6th, but we're honoring them for the essential brotherhood as well. To all the law enforcement officers who keep this country safe, thank you. Putting on the badge means putting yourselves in harm's way to protect others, to keep the country safe. These brave men and women are heroes. Heroes who protected so many from harm on that day. Heroes who live out the code to protect and serve. Heroes who do the noble work. Too many people take that for granted. But days like today force us to realize how much we owe that thin blue line. We're forever indebted to them for their heroism. Today we take an important step towards repaying the debt by presenting them a Congressional Gold Medal. As Congress's highest honor, this award says that the service and sacrifice of these officers will not be forgotten. I hope every American will see this award and feel the gratitude for every law enforcement officer who answer the call of duty every day, but especially the Capitol Police and D.C. officers on January 6th. Because that's what great and grateful nations do. Thank you and God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mitch McConnell, Republican Leader of the United States Senate.
It doesn't take long before anyone working in the Capitol complex comes to see our policemen and policewomen as familiar colleagues. They're the first faces we see on our way in each morning and our last Senate goodbyes every night. Just like members, just like staff, the USCP are part of the ordinary bedrock of daily life. But some days, the worst days, the hardest days, we're starkly reminded that these brave men and women in and out of uniform are not an ordinary part of the fabric. They are not colleagues just like any other. When the rest of us move away from danger, they move toward it. When circumstances make everyone else think of safety first, they put theirs last. And when an unhinged mob tried to come between the Congress and our constitutional duty, the Capitol Police fought to defend not just this institution, but our system of self-government. On-duty officers held the line. Off-duty officers left their families and raced back here. Local officers from surrounding areas and federal personnel from multiple agencies rushed to the scene and joined forces to help clear the Capitol and restore law and order. Because of your bravery and professionalism, Congress finished our job that very night. Because you honored your oaths to support and defend the Constitution, we were able to honor ours. That is a reality that was made especially clear 23 months ago, but it is true every single day. Thank you for having our backs. Thank you for saving our country. Thank you for being not just our friends, but our heroes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Charles E. Schumer, Democratic Leader of the United States Senate.
Madam Speaker, Leader McConnell, Leader McCarthy, Chief Manger, Chief Conti, Reverend clergy, my colleagues, friends, families. January 6th was a day of violence and a day of darkness. But today, under this hallowed Capitol dome, we come to sanctify it also as a day of heroes. We do so by bestowing the highest honor Congress has to offer to the men and women of the U.S. Capitol Police and the Metropolitan Police Department of Washington, D.C. On the day democracy faced maximum danger, these public servants responded with maximum valor. Whether it was holding the line on the Lower West Terrace or leading insurrectionists away from the Senate chamber, or acting quickly to protect members and staff, history will forever note that on January 6th, democracy lived on because of them. Today, we are here to say thank you, thank God for you. A year can pass, 2 years can pass, a decade can pass. But January 6th will always seem like yesterday to me. I can remember sitting on the floor of the Senate that day when my detail suddenly came up and said, "Senator, we have to get you out of here. You're in danger." And he grabbed me by the jacket as we ran out of the chamber. At one point, I was within 30 feet of the rioters before my brave detail pulled me away to safety. Their quick thinking, their valor, their ability to stay calm in the face of violence undoubtedly saved lives that day. And again, our thanks will forever remain immeasurable. So too will our gratitude towards everyone who stepped up that day, from the National Guard to the Capitol staff who restored these halls after the violence. As we observe this solemn occasion, we acknowledge that no honor, no recognition can bring back the officers we lost to the attack. We mourn their loss. We pray for their families. And we honor their limitless heroism in the face of the unthinkable. And to every member of the Capitol Police and Metropolitan Police who still bear the scars from that attack, we are here for you always. It cannot be any other way. On that terrible day in January, you stared directly into the heart of darkness, and though outnumbered, you held the line of democracy. You bravely held it, and democracy endured. In return, those of us in elected office must always strive to care for you, to support your physical safety and your mental health, to give you the tools necessary to do your jobs to the best of your ability. To my personal detail, Mike, Kevin, Joe, DeJuan, and Chris, as well as Antonio, Larry, Sophonia, Christian, Brian, Darren, Kat, Fernando, Richardson, and Alex, thank you. Thank you what you do every day to keep me, my family, and my staff safe. You're the best of the best. You make your department proud. Finally, let me say this. The dome of this Capitol is kept lit by day and night as an enduring symbol of our precious democracy. It's a message to the entire world that here in America, self-rule must forever serve as our bedrock. On January 6th, that light flickered for a brief, harrowing moment, but it was rekindled anew thanks to the bravery of our Capitol Police, the D.C. Metropolitan Police, and all of our public servants who dedicate themselves to protecting this Capitol. Today, because of these heroes, the vision of our founders remains alive in our time. So thank you. God bless you. God bless our democracy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
It is an emotional day for all of us, but you can just imagine what it is for our Capitol Police, our Metropolitan Police, the families who are here. Listening to the music of the Army Band, the U.S. Army Band, Pershing's own, was so beautiful. Let us salute them again for the beautiful. It's all lovely, but I'm so glad you went to the fourth verse. Oh, beautiful for patriot's dream that sees beyond the years, undimmed by human fears. That has always been my favorite line because it is who we are as a country. May we always be patriots who see beyond the years. Thank you for being so beautiful in your presentation. Here we are, again, under this beautiful dome, as has been referenced by our colleagues in the leadership. This beautiful dome, magnificent dome of the United States Capitol, which, let us recall, was built during the Civil War. At the time, the iron and steel used for the construction were said by some to be needed for the war effort. But President Lincoln said to halt the work on the dome wouldn't be right. And he said no. And so in face of brutal violence at the time, the work went on. The work went on because Lincoln knew that we needed a national symbol, a beacon of patriotism, determination, and resilience. Isn't it magnificent? May be worthy to work under it. More than a century and a half later, these high ideals were once again on display right here on this sacred ground beneath the dome. On January 6th, we all witnessed the gleeful desecration of our temple of democracy and a violent insurrection against our republic. Our congressional community knows profound terror of that day firsthand. Members of Congress fled for their lives. Staff barricaded behind office doors. Support staff who run this Capitol hid under furniture. The sound of blood-curdling screams, the smell of gas and smoke, all remain raw. Yet that day, the Capitol Police, the Metropolitan Police, and additional agencies bravely threw themselves between us and violence. And may I thank the National Guard for continuing that protection, ending the day and continuing that protection. With great patriotism, again, hearkening back to Lincoln, with great patriotism, determination, and resilience, they answered the call to serve, putting their lives on the line to protect the Capitol, the Congress, and the Constitution. Your valor on that dark day is the stuff of legend. And like the Dome, they fought to defend a source of strength and hope. And we thank you for that. United in grief and gratitude, today we award them the Congressional Gold Medal, forever etching their heroism into our history. In doing so, we thank those heroes for their service and sacrifice, especially more than 140 members of our protection left with lasting scars and many more suffering from indelible trauma. And may we always remember the fallen, the martyrs for democracy, including U.S. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, whose parents are here today, U.S. Capitol Police Officer Howard Liebengood, Metropolitan Police Officer Jeffrey Smith, and U.S. Capitol Police Officer Billy Evans, killed in line of duty later on Good Friday. Let us acknowledge and thank them. I also want to acknowledge those members of the police force, the District of Columbia, as well as the Capitol Police, who had the courage to tell in testimony what they witnessed that day. And may I acknowledge the Mayor of Washington. Thank you, Mayor, for being with us and with the Metropolitan Police. In his Gettysburg Address, which was in November 18th, Lincoln stood on the ground consecrated by the blood of patriots and spoke to the duty to defend democracy. Let us recall his words. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that we are here highly resolved that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that a government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. Shall not perish from the earth, no matter what the assault, as we saw on January 6th. Thank you to our heroes for being with us today, and thank all of you for joining us as we canonize these heroes in the pantheon of patriots. Oh, beautiful for patriots' dreams. May God bless them and their families. God bless you and your families. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you all for being with us today. Thank you.
You've been streaming a ceremony to honor the law enforcement officers who defended the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th attack.
The members of the Capitol Police and the Metropolitan Police received the Congressional Gold Medal, which is the highest honor issued by Congress.
We also have some breaking news to tell you about this morning. The chairman of the January 6th committee says the panel will make criminal referrals to the Justice Department. Congressman Benny Thompson gave us confirmation earlier today, but wouldn't give further details about what crimes they're looking at or who they'd recommend charges against.
He also said that the committee is going to meet this afternoon and that he expects that they will discuss this matter more at that meeting. Our political team is working the story, and we will bring you more information as we get it. Let's take a break. You're streaming CBS News.
an original CBS Reports documentary.
Yoga and wellness has become a place of anti-science.
Online clickbait.
The algorithms feed you content based upon your own fantasy.
Potentially at my peril.
There's no